Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate for basic human rights for all people. Again, I wanted to share a message with you, and my subject would be Don't Do It as They Do It. That was my original topic. When I started out, I wanted to, you know, bring to the surface for our thought. By the time I get through with this, you'll see I kind of changed on some of these things. And it goes like this. Adam was created and placed in the garden. I'm talking about the story of Adam and Eve now. And he was given instructions. Adam was. Later, God created Eve. But the conduct in the garden was to be established by Adam. He was to be Eve's instructor. The reason for this method is that Adam and Eve could become one in purpose. When God made the angels, only one is spoken of as beautiful, different, unique, special. Call him Lucifer. It is the special one that caused all the trouble in heaven, caused others to follow, and eventually evicted, discharged from glory to do their own thing elsewhere. In the garden, it is Eve that acted like the beautiful, special one. She was not given the instruction as Adam was, so whether a snake, which was a metaphor, or her selfishness drove her to eat the fruit, she did not see anything wrong after having eaten. Whatever she was told was going to happen didn't appear to have happened, and it was good and it was sweet. So now she goes to convince Adam to eat. Now Adam was upset at first about her actions. However, he submitted in the end to Eve's demands rather than God. That is what happened in heaven. The host of heaven were obedient to that pretty one, that fine one, that good looking one, the one who had all of these special gifts, unique. This is the same thing that happens in human history. As God instructed Adam, parents instruct their daughters from engaging in promiscuous sex. The parents know the consequences of such activities. The boys, like Eve, did not get the same instruction. So Adam and girls have received the law. Let me say it again. Adam and the girls have received the law, and each one violated the law. Adam in the garden, Eve in the world. The violation of these rules both have their consequences. You know what the consequences are from having promiscuous sex, not being ready. Is this the right one? Can you afford him? These are the kind of questions that your parents have in mind. Are you old enough? Do you know what it's all about? Can you take care of? In the garden, Adam was just supposed to make sure that he and Eve were on the same page. Let them do the same thing long enough, stand up for the righteousness as it had been given to them until they accepted them as being legitimate, genuine. Well, Adam is now challenged with good and he's challenged with evil. Obedience and disobedience. These are the things that's before Adam. And Eve is challenged with the problems of Adam's disobedience and her own disobedience. Both God and the parents wanted the same for their creations, to follow wisdom. Both failed, and we have the world that we have. The message from this analogy is today, there are those that want to do their own thing, and there are those that want to follow wisdom. The solution is each one should do what they want, follow wisdom or their thing. Now, for those people who are trying to be saved, I wanted them to know that whatever those who follow their own do their own thing, don't you do like they do. Let your own thing be something different. If it's not different, if it's the same thing they're doing, then you are a part of that which they are a part of. However, wisdom loses in this world to selfishness because the men hold more sacred that promise from the woman, and women hold more sacred their will. How many of you men right now who have been married for a long period of time are just with your spouses because you heard that you're not supposed to divorce, that you're supposed to be together forever? How many of you regret that you stuck it out this long? How many of you know that your spouse are always trying to get you to do something different than what it is that you want to do? They got ways of punishing you. They decide not to clean up the house, might decide not to cook, might decide not to sleep with you. And if they got a job, it's easy for them to make these decisions because they figure they don't need you. Well, what we have here is that there is no true unity, no oneness, only selfishness. Now, this is the mirror of the world. It is hell, and it will be hell until wisdom is respected by those that have it. It is those that have wisdom that must use it. And it is this wisdom that will change selfishness and ultimately the world. Now, what we also have is this, ladies and gentlemen. You don't know it, but I'll tell you. The movies and TV programs that you see, these are educational tools. And they're used to let you know what is happening in the world and what is going to be happening in the world. Otherwise, these movies, nobody would want to watch them. But they express what people already know. It encourages people. It doesn't cause anybody to run away. When you got the law that comes in at the end and get the tail point and everything else is gone for, that doesn't work. It doesn't work at all. I had a note here that I wanted to share with you, and it's to this effect: how we have lost our path. There are some people that are interested in the world that do not look at the world the same as those that have been programmed by the educational system and by the radio and TV advertisements and biblical situation that I just mentioned. They see these things different. They see an unseen spirit making man. We can tell that man has the ability to make choices. We heard that through instruction. But we are overcome. We have been so brainwashed through the mechanisms till when people try to tell us stuff, we reject it. Edward Snowden, working with the NSA, finds out that we, the people who have selected, we think, representatives for our government are to represent us. They go into government to represent us. And this guy is working for one of those agencies. And he says what we think these agencies are doing, they are doing way more than that. And in fact, it appears as if their job is to check on you, to make sure that they know everything that you're doing, when you do it, how often you do it, and what for you're doing, and how they can use it to their advantage. Now, these are people that are doing this. They check your emails, they check your mail, they come into your house when you're not there. They hold you without due process. They do anything that they say other nations who have no respect for human life. They do the same things that those nations do. And we keep, because they don't tell us this, they keep pretending like everything is good. But this guy goes in and comes out and tell us all of the rotten stuff that we didn't know. And we should be grateful. We should be his protector. We should be the ones that let all whistleblowers know that we count on them. We can't go to Congress, watch what Congress is doing. We can't be at the mayor's office and at the council meetings every time trying to see what they're doing, but we have to have trust that they are doing what we want done. And since they have been smart enough to divide us, whatever they're doing, they are always helping somebody. Somebody always approving what they're doing. That's how they get away with it. Because those people who are approving what they're doing don't give a darn about those people who are being suffocated. That was the big trick. Keep them divided. And now this man who was trying to inform us so we will know and take the necessary action to protect ourselves, this man got to go live in another country. Can't even come home. Who's speaking for him? If the nation should be, everybody that was blessed from this wisdom, from this whistleblower, should be surrounding him, if not with their physical bodies, with their spirit, with their talks. And let the nation and our representatives, as we call them, know they better not put a hand on him. Because most we can do is just snatch their butts out of security and put them back on the streets with the rest of us. But no, this man got to go over there a year or so in foreign countries. And we talking about if he come back to him, we're going to prosecute him. We're going to do this. We mad as hell. Who is we? We are the ones who were messing over the people. We are the representatives that were cheating. We are the representatives who was lying, who were going afoul. Those are the ones who want to persecute him. And where are the voices that would protect him from such? They somewhere asleep. Thousands are crying out. We are sheep marching into slavery. We are slaves. Yet the people walk around like these whistleblowers are crazy. How many of you are working on jobs now harder than you ever worked before? You're not getting any more money, but you need the little money that you do get, so you allow them to work you harder and harder and harder, and you get no more benefit. You just get stressed out, tired, worn out, and you probably blame your spouse or your family members or your neighbors or your community. You don't blame the people that you should, because it's easy to blame somebody that's small, make you look big, rather than blaming the ones that's doing it. When I go down the streets coming off the expressway in Minnesota, you got signs just about everywhere. Help the poor, homeless, need some help, need some help. And everybody that comes by there, some people will give them $1 or so, but many people walk around and call them lazy and stupid and ignorant, that they ought to get off their butts and get a job, as though just doing what they said was going to work. I tell them with a note, I don't give them no money because I'm out of money, and I tell them that people are looking at you, calling you stupid and ignorant and lazy, and you're not. Get up off your knees, straighten up your back, and go down to your representative. Go down to your city hall. Go down and talk to your mayor. Talk to your legislature. Talk to your governor. Tell them the situation and demand that they, who say they wanted to represent you, who say they are the best people, take care of the business which involves settling your problems. Not just if it's one, just one, but if it's the whole community, everybody. Go down there and tell them, you have failed us. Now you sit down there, they're getting ready to vote, hoping, thinking that you're going to put them in office again. They haven't done anything but for some of you. And that some of you that they reach don't give a darn about the rest of you. And so, man, I got to live in a world during these kinds of times is the dumbest, stupid thing I ever heard of. What else I made a note down here? Well, when I say do not do as they do, I'm saying that it appears as though the only people who are happy today, who are enjoying life in this world, are thieves, crooks, con artists, robbers, and murderers, and those who don't care about other people. They seem to be getting over. Every now and then somebody get busted. They do that to make you think that the law is working. But in the meantime, you've been screwed over. Look at all the billionaires and trillionaires. How do you think they got that? They robbed the public. Maybe not just America. They want to do what you call a global robbery. They robbed the public, and they got all of what they think is important, what they have made the people think are important. And they keep as much of it from you as they possibly can and only give you a small amount when they use you to do some of the things that they need done that they can't really do without. But they want you to think that you play a major role in society. And you're nothing but a slave. You're nothing but a pawn. We are all pawns in the stinking tail game. And the church has no power. The church is as crooked, and I know people go to church, and some of them are as sincere as they can possibly be with their wisdom, with their lack of wisdom, and the little knowledge they have. They are just as dumbfounded as anybody else. When I mean dumbfounded, I mean dumb, stupid, and ignorant. That's what I mean. They are following the dictates of dumb, stupid, ignorant people. And the result is this. Now, me, I see the purpose of this difference is to be different. If others want to rob, cheat, steal, and kill and figure that's the only way to get it, that's not your way. On TV the other day, I saw a big group of people going to a satanic church, and their purpose for being there was to sell their soul to the devil. They say they're missing things out of life that they want, and it seems that the only people who can get things out of life are people who serve the devil. The entertainers, the sports players, all these folks making millions and millions of dollars. Anybody that's making millions and millions of dollars, whether they're building a building, working for Satan. Because it's not going to happen unless Satan says it's okay. And if you want to build a big building and you think you're righteous, they'll get somebody who's unrighteous and build that same building and deny you. Because that's the way it works. But that's not the way it was intended to work. It was intended to work that the people who will recognize God as their founder, the God as their creator, supposed to represent a different way of life. When people start going to the church of Satan talking about I'm going to sell my soul, what does that mean? That means that the church has not done a damn thing. When people are out robbing, lying, cheating, stealing just to survive, that means that we already know the state has failed. The state is not for them. But those who say that they are for them, the church, God's people, have failed. Well, what really happens is that we find out that through their actions, they are not God's people. They are hypocrites, but claiming to be God's people, but they got no power, and they have no power because they are not of God. They really are of Satan, but they don't go out boldly and claiming to be Satan's. But in their inaction, that's what they are. And what holds them to this? What makes these Christians, what makes these church folks, what makes these religious people, and what makes these people who would be good, who are devilish now, what makes them like that? Well, this is what they have before them, and they know that the threat before them, if they do otherwise, is great. And so that fear keeps them down, bent, hoping and praying that somebody's going to come to their rescue. That's not going to come until they wake up. You wake up, God will come to your rescue. When Snowden says that these people are abusing the power that you've given them, if the public had spoken at that time, Edward Snowden would be in America. He'd be a hero. And other folks who are in these sensitive positions will be telling it just like it is. Now you say there are those who propagate this junk, say that, well, he told secrets that the other nations know what we're doing. Well, I'm telling you this. If you were treating other nations the way you should, if you treated other nations the way you wanted to be treated, you wouldn't have to worry about secrets getting out. You know what a secret is? A secret is something low down and dirty that you don't want anybody to know about. That's why they're secrets. Why you guys think you got secret societies? Because they're doing secret, low down, dirty stuff. These secret societies, these Masonic orders, these fraternal organizations, these bones and skull and bones, these trilateral commissions and Council on Foreign Relations and Bilderbergs, all that stuff is nothing but con games that's being played amongst the people. They got secret agendas, and we walk around here in the United States and other parts of the world like a duck, like we don't even know what's going on. Long we can cross the street. You ever in some cities they got these little, I guess you can call them little ducks. Here they can cross the street and cars be driving down the street. They'll stop and let them cross the street. They got no real power except something like that. They make the folks think that they are conscientious about the ducks, so they stop and let the ducks cross. But nobody cares about us. Nobody cares about us. You might say, well, that's why I'm not with God. How can God care about you? God has done everything for you, but you gave it up, dishonoring God. You didn't have to bite off that apple because Eve said it was sweet. You didn't have to bite off that apple because if you didn't bite out, she wasn't going to sleep with you. You could have let her go head on. And if you had done that, I promise you God would have given you somebody else that would have had the same opportunity to be one with you. You didn't have to go out there and have sex with this young boy because you wanted to and he told you it was going to be fine. What happened when you had sex? The first thing happened when you had sex is you said, oh, that's why they didn't want us to do it. Because it's so good they were trying to keep it for themselves. You stupid, ignorant person. Right along that line, here comes the trouble. And you know what that trouble is. I'm not going to recite it again. But I want you to know these things because these things are very important. And I don't know if you've gotten anything out of what I've shared with you here this moment. But I'm giving it to you anyway because I can't sleep. I'm in the bed, tossing and turning, caught up in this thing. Want to live, want to take care of my family, help them to enjoy life and to smile and be gloriously happy every day. But we spend all of our time struggling, trying to survive.